Welcome, everybody, to our next update of everything that's happened with the Israeli-Palestine, more specifically the Hamas conflict over the last 12 hours. There has been big escalations. We're going to be going over all the updates. The latest news that the US is going to be sending, not going to be, military ships and aircraft towards Israel. We're also going to be going over Biden announcing more aid is on the way for Israel. The oil markets are surging right now. The pre-market for the US is in the red. And then we're going to be going over some of the live maps with the conflicts that is happening with Israel on the Gaza Strip, in Gaza, on the southern border of Lebanon with Hezbollah, and apparent unconfirmed reports of more aid on the way through Syria. So let's go ahead and get into the latest, everyone. So we obviously know that everything that happened Saturday, but unfortunately the death toll has climbed to more than 1,100 people. The Israeli Foreign Ministry said 700 Israelis have been killed in the attacks, and at least 413 Palestinians, although who knows, it's probably much higher, including 78 children, according to Palestinian Health Ministry. Now, the Israeli ministry reported fighting in 7 border communities and an army base, and tanks were seen crossing farmland in parts of southern Israel, heading south toward Gaza. Hamas, the militant group that controls Gaza, continue to fire rockets into Israel, hitting the border city of Sderot. Israeli authorities ordered residents not to leave their homes because Palestinian militants were believed to be once again infiltrating the city, which is true. We can go ahead and see here. Yesterday, the IDF, the Israeli military, were able to stop a lot of the infiltrations by Hamas from Gaza, but we can see here the live map. There is a lot of live fighting happening right now in Israel. There has been more militant groups that have broken through the Gaza border, and there is live action, live fighting happening along the Gaza Strip, but more happening in the Palestinian occupied West Bank here. And we can see there's continued conflict building up with Hezbollah. That's a different military group in Lebanon that is joining the fight against Israel. There was unofficial reports from Syria and Iran suggest that IRGC Quads Force Commander Cowan has arrived in Lebanon. We'll have to wait for that to get confirmed. And we can see here in Syria, towards the southern border of Syria, there's been reports that reinforcements include drones, Iranian Fajar missiles, advanced weapons that arrived at military sites in Darara and Quinintara. Governance, leaders and members of the Lebanese Hezbollah militia entered a number of the military sites northwest of Dara and other sites in Quinintara. Sorry, my pronunciation of these areas would be terrible. Government close to the border with occupied Golan. There's this region here, which is located near the town of Jabab, north of Dara, and similar reinforcements from foreign militias entered a number of military hills located northwest of Dara and Talal al-Shira and Krum in Corinta governance. So go ahead and bring this report here. So if you want, you can pause the video and try to read this. I'll try to bring it up a bit bigger, so you can pause the video and read that if you want. But again, that is unconfirmed as of right now. So let's get into US sending military ships and aircraft closer to Israel. So I'll go ahead and bring this up here. So US to send military ships and aircraft closer to Israel. So the situation is escalating because Iran has allegedly admitted that they are backing Hamas. Iran, that's what Iran has said, according to reports, that they're backing them. Hezbollah, again, the southern Lebanon, is backing Hamas as well. Thanks for that super chat, Mobile Crusader. Keep American taxes out of Israel. Well, that's what we're going to get into a bit later in the video. So let's get into the news here. The United States will send multiple military ships and aircraft closer to Israel as a show of support, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said, with Washington believing Hamas' deadly attacks may have been motivated to disrupt a potential normalizing of Israeli-Saudi Arabia ties. So that's exactly right. Israel was trying to work close with Israel, are trying to repair. They're trying to fix their relationships that have been pretty bad lately. Saudi Arabia still does say that the Palestinians have a right to the land. They have a right to have a state, so they're still kind of on the side of the Palestinians. But Iran and Hamas didn't like that their ties were getting closer with Saudi Arabia. But remember, also, Saudi Arabia does not get along with Iran at all. So at least 3 Americans were among those killed, CNN reported on Sunday, citing a U.S. memo. Austin, in a statement, said he ordered the moving of USS Gerald R. Ford carrier strike group to the eastern Mediterranean closer to Israel. The force includes the carrier, a guided missile cruiser, and 4 guided missile destroyers. Austin also said the United States had also taken steps to augment U.S. Air Force F-35, F-15, F-16, and A-10 fighter aircraft squadrons in the region. He said the United States would also provide munitions to Israel. Now, also, Biden has had a phone call with the Israeli PM Netanyahu, and he says more military aid is on the way to Israel. So US President Joe Biden said fresh military aid is on its way to Israel after the attacks by the Palestinian militant group Hamas, Palestinian militant group Hamas, with more to follow over the coming days, the White House announced Sunday. So we don't know exactly how much is going to be sent, but we'll probably have those details soon. So Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also discussed ongoing efforts to ensure that no enemies of Israel believe that they can or should seek advantage from the current situation, he said in a statement. So I think that is something, that I've been talking about. Iran may seize an opportunity to strike. We're seeing Hezbollah in South Lebanon. They're definitely seeing this as an opportunity, and they're attacking from the southern border of Lebanon. That's the northern border in Israel. But something we have to talk about, there's already been, I think it's getting close to $200 billion in aid sent to Ukraine. And now there's going to be billions and billions sent to Israel. Now, again, should we do it? Shouldn't we do it? Well, the fact of the matter is, I'm going to go into the economics of this. The US is going to be entering a recession. There's so many Americans struggling just to keep up with the basic essentials, but billions and billions of dollars are going to be funding these wars. Obviously, the military-industrial complex will be rubbing their hands. They'll be loving this, but at the time when you see what went on in Maui and Hawaii, there wasn't enough aid sent there to help Hawaii. We're seeing a lot of stuff happening with veterans. We're seeing a homeless crisis in America. We're seeing a cost of living crisis, a housing crisis. They seem to not have enough money for the American people, but hundreds of billions, and I think it will end up like with Iraq, ending up being in the trillions going to funding these wars, which again, all war is very unfortunate, no matter what side you're on. Also, what's very, very concerning is the US is being, we have to call it for what it is being invaded right now. There is millions, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands. It's been confirmed there's at least 2.5 million illegals entering the southern border and borders of the US, and that's documented. They think, when Elon Musk went to the border, he said it could be well into 4 million people. And a lot of these are not just people from Mexico, okay? These are military-aged men entering the border, and a lot of them aren't being flagged. They could be terrorists. They could be part of the Hamas militant group, okay, that doesn't like the US. And they could be entering the border as well, because the border is wide open, okay? People are heading in the border in the millions, and we don't know if it could be some of the Hamas military men. Now, also, we're getting into the oil markets. Oil is obviously surging off this news. And of course, if Iran joins in, which is a huge provider of oil, I think the oil markets will even go more haywire. We can look at the pre-market here. All indices are in the red. The Dow's down around 200 points. S&P, Nasdaq down around 0.7%. So again, this is not just going to be a short war, everyone. This is going to be a long, unfortunate, bloody war. We can see here, again, along the Gaza Strip, the Hamas militants have infiltrated Israel again. There's active fighting here, a lot of fighting going on in this blue highlighted area here in the West Bank. And the US warships are going to be heading closer towards Israel in the Mediterranean Sea. Let's see if there's any more other live updates. So UN takes no immediate action after emergency meeting. So we'll have to wait to see what the UN does. And then there's apparent more military reinforcements coming from Iran. And apparently, again, unconfirmed, unofficial reports from Syria that Iran suggests that IRGC Quds Force Commander Cowan has arrived in Lebanon. So the situation is rapidly escalating. I'll keep you all updated. Obviously, it's going to have big implications for the markets. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all in the next video.